Chapter 10. Before Celeste left the clinic, she shoved her papers under her shirt. Holding on to them as if she had a stomachache, she slowly ambled down the hall back to the slave quarters in full view of the security cameras. The way she figured it, the last thing Isha and Terrence would do once they found her missing was to look at the security cameras to see where she went, and they'd see her handed back to her room like a good little slave. Once she reached her quarters, however, Celeste quickly changed into her only set of outdoor clothes, a gray dress, flat shoes, and a red jacket. The jacket was designed by Terrence to be as visible as possible, an extra failsafe if a slave was to escape. Celeste would have left it behind, but it was cold out there up on the mountain at night. No, she'd have to risk it and get rid of it as soon as possible. Besides, it hid the number printed on the back of her dress, the number which identified her as one of Terrence's collection. Celeste stifled a growl as she folded her papers to stuff in her shirt. She was only allowed to wear those clothes when she was sent to town for something. On those rare occasions, her shock collar would be put on a delay, a timer that gave enough time to accomplish a task and get back on grounds before getting zapped. Of course, there were times when Terrence would purposely not give someone enough time to make it, usually as a form of punishment. And you never know when or if he would do it. Being the pride of his collection, Celeste had never been on the receiving end of such treatment, but Terrence had made her learn CPR so she could resuscitate his unlucky victims. Celeste shuddered. She had her lips on most of the people in the house. The ones she hadn't were replacements for the ones she and Isha couldn't save. She shoved these thoughts from her mind, eased the door open, being sure not to wake any of the other slaves sleeping in the room. As she made her way down the hall this time, she made sure to keep out of the view of the cameras. Every day for the past month, she'd studied how the cameras moved as she cleaned. She hadn't left any part of this escape up to chance. Only one thing stood in her way now. Terrence's entire complex was protected by an alarm system. When Celeste first started to think about this escape plan, she didn't know how she'd get out without setting off the alarm. But one day, when she was cleaning a window, she saw how the alarm worked. The window frame had a little white thing on it with a wire running from it. The other white thing had been placed on the part of the window that slid open and closed. When the window closed, the two white things touched. When it was open, they didn't. And that was it. At night, all the doors and windows were closed, which meant the white things touched. If Celeste could keep those things touching while opening the window, she could keep the alarm from going off, and she found the perfect window to try it on. In the ballroom was a little space next to the hutch, which displayed the awards Terrence had won for his collection. He had placed the hutch in such a way that it partially blocked one of the windows leading out into the garden. Celeste could slip in the space, open the window, and slip out without anyone seeing. Only one problem: cameras. One of the cameras swept the space as it moved back and forth. By her count, Celeste only had about 20 seconds to get in, pop the white thing off the window, open it, and slip out before the camera saw it. In preparation, she had already glued the white things together with the glue she had swiped from the maintenance closet. Now she squatted by the door out of view of the camera until the right moment. She only had one chance. Now! Celeste darted to the space, pried her nail behind the white thing, and popped it out the window. It remained connected to its partner on the frame. Without daring to waste time looking for where the camera was, she slipped open the window, jumped out, and pressed herself against the wall beneath the window. When she was certain the camera wouldn't be on the window, she eased it shut again. Slinking around the garden to avoid setting off the motion detector lights or alert the guards milling around on patrol, she tiptoed to the door leading to the delivery door. There, though freedom was a short sprint away, she sat in the bushes to wait. The road was filled with security cameras waiting to catch her flight. She'd have to wait until morning for the next part of her plan. But for now, she had done a good night's work. She was outside without her shock collar on. Phase 2 of her plan was complete. After settling down in the quiet gloom, she was aware of her stomach churning. She hadn't felt nauseous the entire time she'd been trying to leave, but now in her relatively safe hiding place, her stomach heaved again, though not nearly as bad as before. Eventually, the effects of the emetic wore off, and she drifted to sleep, hidden in the bushes.